Children's Home Society has been around for 120 years. So that's just a wonderful highlight for me because it really speaks to our legacy, but it also really speaks to impact. And I'm incredibly grateful and thankful that I have an opportunity to be a part of Children's Home Society. Children's Home Society, our mission is all about building bridges of success for children. And so, what I love about it is we have the opportunity to build those bridges to success in so many ways. So, Children's Home Society has early childhood programs where, such as Healthy Start here in Leon County, where we're able to actually serve new parents, new moms from the time that they're pregnant up until the time that they actually birth their babies and continue to walk through that process. But we also have school-based programs as well, like the School Navigator program and the Community Partnership program that are centered in the school and really give us an opportunity to make those really vital and key linkages to families and services within the community to really improve the children's experience at school, but also when they're in the community as well. And in addition to that, here locally, we have a children's advocacy center, which serves children that have been impacted by abuse or neglect. And so, again, the beauty of Children's Home Society is that we have such a broad array of programs that really touch and impact families in many different ways. And I love the excitement of so many different areas to make an impact. And again, it's just a true honor and a pleasure to be a part of this wonderful organization. Really good question. And I'll share one. It's most recent. Unfortunately, as much as I thoroughly enjoy children, being able to be in their presence and impact their lives, very rarely in my role do I get an opportunity to actually see children or encounter them, which is quite interesting, because with the advocacy piece and really building relationships in the community, it doesn't leave a lot of room and opportunity for it. And so our Children's Advocacy Center, we just recently moved into a new building, and I was really heavily involved in the process of what do we want the building to look like? What do we want the parents and the children to feel like when they step into a building? Because if you've experienced abuse or neglect, that can be really traumatic and really scary when you're trying to get some help. And so one particular day, I was in my office and I heard some kids, and I said, children are in this building. And so I went out into our lobby at the Children's Advocacy Center, and we have, I think the word that you would call it is sensory boards, and they're on the walls in the Children's Advocacy Center. So it gives the children something to play with when they're waiting to receive services, and something to just kind of give them a calm atmosphere. And so there was a sibling group playing with the sensory boards, and the mom is standing at the door saying, okay, let's go, time to go. And she's like opening the door like, come on, let's go. And her daughter, I said, oh, are you enjoying this? And she said, absolutely. I just want to let you know, kid approved. And it was just such a wonderful moment because when I think about the reason that they were there, and then I think about their experience, just a small fraction of their experience that I had an opportunity to see. It made all of those long meetings about what do we need to buy, where are we going to get it from, all of those discussions, just that moment of her saying kid approved was such a wonderful moment, and just a smidge of reminder of, this is why we do the work that we do. We want children and families to have a safe place. And we want them to have the ability to just be kids and just enjoy themselves. Even if their parents are saying, come on, let's go. It's time to go. Funding for children's advocacy centers comes from prosecutions. So when there is a crime against a child, whether abuse or neglect, and it's prosecuted, the person that facilitated whatever act it was, they have fines. And those fines go into this pot of money. And then that money kind of trickles down through the federal government to the state and goes into each children's advocacy center across that particular state. And so when prosecutions are low, those fines are low. And in turn, those contributions are lower to the agencies that really need that funding. But we know that doesn't mean that things aren't happening. We know that what it does mean it's probably unreported. And also, number two, you may have a plea or there is no prosecution happening. And so the Children's Advocacy Center, I like to say the Children's Advocacy Center works hand in hand with what we call the Child Protection Team. And so when something happens, typically law enforcement gets involved or DCF gets involved. And the first place that they go to is the Child Protection Team, specifically for that medical component. They're going to facilitate an interview with that child one time to get their story one time. And it gives them an opportunity to share those details of their experience in a really safe environment. It gives them an opportunity to get a medical exam if they need it, where you can get photos and pictures of everything that happened to them. And then the Children's Advocacy Center, where we come in at, after they've done that medical component, they need healing after that. And the Children's Advocacy Center gives them that opportunity to engage with a therapist. It gives them an opportunity to walk alongside an advocate who'll be there to call and check in on your family and say, hey, how are things going? Maybe there's been a disruption in the household and funding has been impacted, especially if the perpetrator lived in the house. Well, what do you do? Where do you go? What happens if you need food? What happens if that person was a provider? And the Children's Advocacy Center helps to walk alongside and engage in a path of healing, but also support that family during that process. And so, thankfully, our Children's Advocacy Center, it doesn't just serve Leon County, it actually serves the entire Big Bend area. So we have families that travel to us after they've experienced something, and they still have that opportunity to receive healing and hope with us, which is so beautiful. And so, not that funding reduction impacts us because it definitely impedes our ability to continue to serve families within the entire Big Bend area. And what we're looking to do is to make sure that these services do not go away. But more importantly, we want to be here as a beacon of hope to many people that really, really need it. And we want to continue to be that safe place and space for healing, really for our community. One of the things that I've learned is there are some parents that have been victims of abuse and neglect as children. And sometimes they share their story after something has happened to one of their children. And so not only do we have an opportunity to help their child, but it's an open door for that mom or that dad or that caregiver to begin to receive that same healing as well. Well, I would, of course, say we would love support, number one, through financially supporting what we do at the Children's Advocacy Center. The easiest way to do that is go to our website. It's chsfl.org. And in the top right-hand corner, there's a donate button. And you have the opportunity to fill out your donation. And you can write a note to specifically say Children's Advocacy Center. If you particularly care about a specific county, I actually grew up in Gaston County. So if you wanted to support Gaston County or Leon County or Taylor County, you can specialize whatever specific county of the Children's Advocacy Center you want to support, or you can just say CAC and keep it broad. So that would be my first ask. The second thing I would say is awareness, because abuse and neglect can be very uncomfortable for people to listen to, and it can be very uncomfortable at times to talk about. And one of the things that I personally care about is normalizing people having the opportunity to talk about what's happened in their lives in a way where they can really receive hope and healing. And so, one of the ways that people can do that is if you receive, and if you're looking at this, you can share it with someone. You can go over to our website and look at some opportunities to volunteer with us as well, which is also on our website. And I would also say just reach out to us for a tour. We want people to come and see us. We want people to see our kid approved area where we serve so that they can know that it's a safe space and a safe place really for healing. And you said it earlier, that wholeness.